as well as other things that may pertain to the game industry at large. All right, so with that being said, let's go right into the news. So, first news topic of the night. Give me 1 second here as I put up the video. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Aha. There we go. Okay, I think the first thing we're going to start off with Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu has a release window this spring. So this is written by Kotaku.com, the UK website. Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, gets a physical release this spring, written by Laura Kate Dale. Originally funded via Indiegogo, Shaq Fu, hang on a minute. Oh, never mind, no. Music's playing, sorry. Originally funded via Indiegogo, Shaq Fu is a Legend Reborn finally has a release window alongside some additional information about its release. The game is a beat 'em up where Shaquille O'Neal fights through Hollywood trying to restore his name, and it's coming on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this spring. It'll also be getting a physical release alongside a digital one. Anyone who purchased NBA Playground on Nintendo Switch prior to June 10th, 2017 will receive a copy of Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn upon release. Spring is not a terribly long window of time from now, so we should have a final release date before too long. I'll put the link in the chat, and don't mind the don't mind the yelling in the background. My dad's watching the NBA All-Star game.
Getting in it.
Yeah, getting in it. So, Shaq Fu is just out of nowhere. It's happening this spring.
The sequel nobody asked for.
So now the question now becomes like, is
Hey, y'all can't see my face. I'm in tears.
so the question is now becomes like, Shaq Fu is gonna be good or is gonna be bad? Like it's either gonna be one or the other, or it could be in between.
I legit hope it's bad. Like, and I'm not talking about like a bad. I'm talking about like a fun bad. Like it's not a good game. Everyone knows it's not a good game, but it's fun as hell to play.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, does that sound weird? Like, I know it sounds bizarre, but like I just think it would be so much fun if it just didn't control great, but like. But, like, you know, like, if you have friends over and you're all playing the same shitty game, you're all having a good time, like, that's what I want for.
What are the odds you think that you'll see some, like, special guest characters that are, like, straight from the NBA? Like, Charles Barkley would be a character in the game.
That'd be a perfect one. That would be a perfect one.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
That would be great.
Yeah, I wouldn't want any new players. Like, I want them all from, like, the 90s.
Yeah. Bring back Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, Chris Webber. That'd be hilarious. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna say one of those legendary games, but like this is kind of like when it was initially announced, like it was like, you know, would this thing like would people have interest into, and like would it be, you know, popular enough to gain enough money for Indiegogo? And it did, apparently. Like it raised enough money for it to continue forward. So there is definitely interest for it. I'm curious as much as everybody else is, how is it going to turn out? And no,
I think it'll do well enough.
Yeah,
Because the original's infamous, man. Like,
yeah.
I own the SNES. I own the SNES cart. It's the only SNES cart that I own because it was like $3 at Dimple Records, and I was like, yeah, why not? But it is an infamous game because it's so crappy. But here's my question: do you remember the story?
No. Remind me, what was the story in that game?
Basically, Shaq went into like he went into Chinatown, and he goes into this like back alley China shop. Like and when I say China shop, I'm talking about like the shit you saw in Gremlins. And he talks to the guy behind the counter, and it's the same, like the aesthetic of the guy is the same as sorry.
No, I know. I'm fixing that right now.
I love when our chat messes with you when you're stuff. Anyway, he has that like a classic 80s mystical China shop guy, and or Chinese shop, however you want to put that. And he basically tells Shaq, like, you're the only one that can save us, and behind that curtain you're gonna go to a mystical land where you have to fight people and save the land, and like that's the story. And there's all these like weird characters he has to come up in contact with, and I don't remember how it ends, but I think he like takes over this mystical land by beating the shit out of everybody.
I see. Don't mind the cat, as he is crying for attention. Yeah, definitely. Like, wow, that's hilarious. Where the hell's the cat? Oh, no, he left. Okay, screw you, cat. Yeah. So, okay.
I'm just curious if that's going to be added in, or if like this is a direct sequel where like he has to defend the throne.
I want to say, you know what? I think that my money, if I were to bet it on anything, I think it's gonna be. I think it'd be crazy not to be a sequel. I think it might be a sequel to it's like an actual no, because if they were to do a sequel, it would have been called Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. It would have been like Shaq Fu 2 something subtitle. So it probably is gonna be a new story. Maybe we'll have some hints
or a full remake or a full remake.
That's true. That is very true. It could be a full remake of the original game. I'm kind of wondering how over the top are they gonna go in on this game. Like, as you can see in the trailer, like, it's already over the top as it is with just Shaq's model, and the way that the ninjas are animated. So it could be just over the top, just zany fun, which would be great. It'd be awesome. But yeah, we'll find out soon enough when that game comes out this spring. I hope it's like, I hope it's like not $60 and like maybe like 40.
Oh, I don't think it'll be full 60.
Yeah, maybe 20 would be great too. It depends on how
30. I'm gonna guess 30. If the character models and the 3D models are what we're seeing in this trailer, it'll absolutely be a $30 fighting game.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a second.
Maybe 40 if they're really pushing their boundaries.
That's true. That it was also a fighting game. I mean, it is
a
a
fighting game.
It was a fighting game, but there's a story to it. Like, the story was not the best. I mean, we're not talking about
not by a long shot.
We're not talking about Injustice here, or
well, what I think's so funny about its story is that other fighting games were like, you take Street Fighter and it was just a tournament essentially, or like and they each had their own motives. You take Mortal Kombat, it was a tournament. And most other fighting games were that simplistic. Like they were just one dude trying to take on everybody to rise to the top, or something like that, or avenge somebody. And sorry, chat is killing me right now with this.
I fixed it. Don't worry. For those who for the podcast listeners at home wondering what the hell is going on, I misspelled clarified twice. So that's what's going on. I fixed it now. Okay, but go on.
Anyway, but in this one, it was like Shaq Fu goes into a mystical land and just takes over. Like there was no explanation to what Shaq was trying to do. It wasn't like, from what I remember, the main bad guy wasn't like a tyrannical leader. He just needed to be taken down for some reason.
I mean, to be fair, like, fighting game stories was never a thing until, like, Mortal Kombat 9. Like, it never was. I know.
Oh, chat listeners, or podcast listeners, there's hilarious happening right now with the spelling of the word clarified.
I know. I got it. But...
Wow.
But, okay, so I was saying, like, yeah, like, fighting game stories was never a thing until Mortal Kombat 9. And that's when I get really like starting to look a lot better, and the stories were a bit more in depth than what it was. And since then, like, other fighting games have kind of wanted to, I want to say emulate it, but like have a bit of a deeper story regarding their franchises. Look at Tekken 7, look at Mortal Kombat 10, Injustice. Even Marvel Capcom trying to do their own thing recently with Infinite, and it definitely. It definitely something that, for a long time wasn't, it didn't matter, but, over the course of time, it kind of does. It still doesn't matter, but, like, I think for a lot of people who are, like, casually playing it, like, wants to be entertained in some other way other than, playing arcade mode. So. I swear.
Sorry.
I did.
Who did somebody else misspell it in the chat?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I don't know how you did that wrong.
This is what happens when you bring Shaq in the mess.
Oh, Anthony's spelling of the word of clarified is as bad as the original game.
There you go. There you go. Yes, this all. What we learned. This is Shaq's fault. That's all that happens. We talked about Shaq, and I can't spell for shit. Okay.
Oh Lord Almighty! Oh man, that was funny. I'm glad we got 10. I think we only got 10 minutes out of that because of the spelling of clarified.
Man, yeah. Okay. We're moving on. We're moving on to the next topic.
Okay, we'll move on.
I love you, Anthony. Holy shit!
All right.
Oh man.
If I say this next day, we're gonna still be on this topic for a minute.
Oh shit!
All right. So moving on to our next topic. And it's about something I was talking about earlier, which I'm really excited about, actually.